We're going to bring in Richard Crouse, our film critic. Richard, thanks for joining us tonight. I know you've got a lot going on with the Toronto Film Festival, but before we start talking about Mr. Jones, let's just listen to this one more time.
If you only knew the power of the dark side, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No, I am your father.
Not true.
Oh, getting goosebumps with that, Richard. What a voice on him.
It's one of the most famous lines from movie history. And the interesting thing is that it was added in later on. So apparently, James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, didn't meet Carrie Fisher until they did an episode of The Big Bang Theory together decades after making the Star Wars movies, because the voice was added in a little bit later on. But when you think about that, you would think, okay, for a lot of actors, that would be enough. And then you have James Earl Jones, who had a career that lasted a little over 70 years.
Amazing.
Between his work on Broadway, where he was a Tony-winning actor on Broadway starting in 1957, through to winning Emmys for television, an honorary Oscar. He won a Grammy for a children's record that he made. So he's an EGOT, which is just something that only a small handful of people in entertainment have. It's the 4 big entertainment awards. And it's a career that shows enormous versatility, from Star Wars to Field of Dreams to The Lion King. So many generations of people grew up watching him, and for each of those generations, they would have a favorite performance, whether it's as Darth Vader, as the voice performance. One of the greatest, broadcasting taglines of all time. This is CNN. This is a man who left behind a legacy that is varied, that is interesting, but absolutely earmarked with quality at every turn.
And what's so incredible, too, is the man who is known for his voice, he was the voice. I mean, it's the voice everybody wants. And he stuttered when he was younger.
He was. He had a terrible stutter when he was younger and barely spoke for about 8 years until he figured a way to remedy that. And obviously, made a living as a stage actor long before he made it to Broadway. He was someone that did Shakespearean plays and worked extensively in live theater before moving over to the big screen and television and everything else that he did.
And you know what I want to hope? I've never met him. I don't know if you had a chance to interview him, but he just seemed like a nice guy, too.
Well, this was the thing. I think you don't survive in the kind of cutthroat business that show business can be, particularly from the 50s through to the last film he made was in 2021. It was Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, the sequel to the Coming to America film from the 80s. You don't last that long if people don't want to work with you. I've had so many actors tell me that the secret to being a career or someone with a career that lasts a very long time is to be a good hang. People have to want to be around you.
All right, before you go, what stands out? What's the one for you from James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones, I think it's got to be The Lion King as Mufasa. It is majestic. The voice work is incredible. Although, think about this is CNN. Being able to have that on your resume, probably the most widely heard, advertising tagline, or certainly one of them, and to have that best completely the success of it on the sound of your voice would be an incredible thing.
All right, Richard, what movie are you going to watch tonight? You look like you're going to a movie.
I am. I'm just heading in to see a movie called Speak No Evil. I'll tell you all about it on Friday.
Perfect. Richard Crouse is our film critic. Thanks for joining us, Richard.
Thanks for having me.